This computer.
Recording, awesome.
All right, we are on. And so hello, welcome. I am Natalie Guerin, and it's my absolute pleasure to have Safrina here today. And I get to interview her, and really she's gonna give us a beautiful talk on how to build a cash machine with videos, because she is the video queen. Actually, she's really the feng shui queen. I don't even know if I'm saying that properly. She's a holistic business owner, and her message has a lot to do with how do you feng shui your business and how you bring in those principles to grow your business. And she really works with spiritual entrepreneurs. And on the YouTube side, which is one of the big platforms she's been utilizing to grow her business, she has 20,000 hits a month, which is awesome, really incredible. And in January, she made it up to 90,000. Like, that's amazing. And so I'm really excited to have you here, just for you guys to know a little bit about where I know her from, in case you're curious. I don't know where we met. I think we met over in a Facebook group somewhere.
I think it's probably one of those Facebook groups, yeah.
So it's kind of my pleasure, actually. And actually, she's having an event in early June, and maybe you can tell us a little bit more about that in just a moment. And I'm actually going to be there with her live and giving her a 90-minute portion of that, which I'm so stoked and excited about. And so I'm just going to turn it over to you. And is that cool?
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much, Natalie. I am so honored that you asked me to be on this live stream with you. And just as a bit of a heads up to you guys, I'm trying to be my most present self for you guys right now, but I have to admit, this morning I woke up, my nose was really runny, my eyes was itchy, and it's seasonal allergy time, so I did not look good. So I only gave myself like half a capsule of an allergy pill, just half, and I'm actually a little bit woozy at the moment.
I can understand that. You know, when I take it, do you know what happens to me when I take Benadryl?
What?
Any amount, my skin falls off.
What?
Yep. It happens to about 10% of the people, but I'm lucky it's just my hands, right? My sister, it's from her shoulders to her knees.
Oh my gosh. That is so weird. Yeah, but Benadryl, I had to, you guys. Like, it's either me sneezing through this whole live stream, or, you know, so
I was okay with her having taken Benadryl. Put it up in the comment box, in the chat box. Are you guys okay? I think we are, and we can give her a little hand of applause for showing up.
Thanks so much, you guys. So yeah, so just you know, we're going to keep this as informal as possible, and I'm happy to take as much time as we need to go through any questions that you guys have. Feel free to butt in with questions. Natalie, I'm not seeing the Facebook comments, so, you know, feel free to. Oh, I can't hear you. You muted yourself, I think.
I could not share on Facebook. Unfortunately, there's a technical glitch, so I re-invited them. So the only comments we'll have are here, and I'll take a look for you and bring them back to you.
Okay, awesome. Oh, Nadra, that would be great if you can give me distant healing. Nadra does Reiki and healing as well, actually. So yeah, so as Natalie mentioned, I'm the founder of Feng Shui and Prosper. So I use classical feng shui principles to help my residential and my business clients to achieve peak financial flow in their homes and in their offices, their retail stores, what have you. And so I've been doing feng shui as a business for 8 years now. Half of that I was doing it part-time. So I had a website and everything. You know how it is, right? When you start a business, you think like, okay, I need a website. The website's going to make you money. But really, you know, it's just part of that marketing structure that you need, right? The main thing in any business is you need to be visible. You need to make sure that your perfect clients, customers, and patients can actually find you. Because otherwise, it doesn't matter if you have the best product or the best service. If people don't even know you exist, then you can't help them. You can't impact their lives. You can't make money in your business. And so what happened was, you know, even when I was doing it part-time, I had a website up.
You have a card.
To
Sorry, I finally got it working, but
don't even. And okay, yeah. So I so I have
sorry,
my
it's
website.
because I actually shared it on Facebook and it kicked off the video.
Oh, okay. Are we good to go?
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got interrupted there for you.
No problem. So I have my website. So if anyone in Toronto, that's where I'm from, by the way, in Toronto, Canada. So if anyone in my city were to Google feng shui practitioner in Toronto, my website would come up on the first page. That was all great, you know, especially doing it part-time. You know, I would get calls, you know, fairly frequently. So in the evenings, I would do feng shui consults, or in the weekend. So that was great. But then what happened, and what happens with Google, and the same thing with Facebook, is they change their algorithms all the time. Every few months, it changes. And about 5 years ago, they had a Google change, and my website got what's called as a Google slap. Like Google just slaps my website and it's gone. So when I Google feng shui practitioner in Toronto, when I used to be on page 1 Google, you couldn't find my website in the first 50 pages.
Why did you get slapped? Do you know?
I think it was the backlink. To be honest, I don't know. It's just they
algorithm changed and
yeah, the algorithm changed, and there was probably and I did some SEO, right? So maybe it was the old school SEO that they didn't like, and they penalized. They penalized my website. So it wasn't found in the first 50 pages. So what happened to my business? No phone calls, no emails. And I remember when that happened, I freaked out at my husband. And that time I was still part-time, right? But even just having that extra few $100s every month, that pays a lot of, you know, pays for a lot of stuff. So I started freaking out. And nowadays, if any of you guys have a website and you're trying to rank that website, I'll tell you one thing. If a company approaches you, I'm saving you hundreds and thousands of dollars right now. If a company is calling you up and say, hey, we're going to search engine optimize your website, just pay us money and we'll do it for you, do not hand that over. Do not hand that over, because it is almost impossible to search engine optimize a website right now. If you guys are not familiar with the term search engine optimize, it just means to optimize your website in that it's easily found online. That's the crux of it, right? So if a company says we'll rank your website, especially if they guarantee it, walk away, because no one can do that right now. They can. It's just Google has like a whole list of stuff that we think is what they're looking for in terms of a website. So it's all just theories out there. No one really has a formula for that one. So what happens now that my website is not being found? At that time, everyone was talking about video. Even 5 years ago. I mean, if you think people were talking about video now, like they were already talking about that 5, even 7 years ago, way before everyone else has a whiff of video marketing, right? So I started searching for, okay, is video the next thing for me to do? Because obviously I have to let go of the notion that my website's gonna get found. How else am I gonna get found if it's not my website, right? So I started learning about video marketing. I started, if you guys, I mean, if you go on YouTube, you're gonna see like my first video, I think it's about 4 or 5 years ago. And then I actually had one maybe 2 years prior to that, then I had a hiatus.
Were you scared to do your first video?
It was scary because, and you know what, I did it midnight, my time. Although I know for the other part of the world, midnight is like their daytime, but in my mind, it's like, oh, most people will be asleep. They're not. This is Google Hangout.
My mother is calling me. Oh. So let me put that on mute.
That's okay. So this was in or no, it was called back then Google Live on Air. So when you go live, it's all out on YouTube, and anyone, just like someone surfing a TV channel, anyone surfing Google Live on Air at that point, they can watch you, right? So one, I mean, it was great. The first video, actually, going back to Natalie's question, I was nervous. And everyone is nervous during your first time, because it's uncharted territories. You're not sure what you were, you're not sure if anyone's going to watch it, or you're not, maybe you're scared of trolls, right? People just giving you really bad negative comments, and you're just like frozen on air. There's lots of all those fears going around, but really what I can tell you is once you do the first 3, you'll be fine. You'll be a pro. You just need, if you haven't done video yet, you just need to kind of push yourself to get over that hump, and you'll do it. Just like, the first time you ride a bike, or first time you drive a car, or first time you have physical, intimate relationship with someone. It's always nervous because you've never done it, right?
I have to get naked.
Exactly. Like,
Thank God for hormones.
Right? You're exposed, you're vulnerable. It's the same thing when you feel like you're going on air for the very first time. And you don't know if the other person's gonna like it.
That's fun. That's a funny analogy.
I should use that analogy.
That's hilarious. One of the things that happens to me is when I go on live, I'm always afraid. I'm like, my hair is not done up, and I've stopped caring a little bit, but I go live and I connect and I do healings, and I find myself so excited by the prospect and so energized. I'm like, how come I didn't do this? And then I go back to, it's really hard.
Yeah, and you know what? The thing is now, because live streaming, just like what we're doing right now, it's real, it's raw, and that's actually better. Like, your hair, you don't need hair and makeup and everything. And people actually connect with you better that way. My video and my marketing mentors, they actually tested like a raw, unedited, unscripted live stream like this, compared to one that's like polished and scripted and perfect lighting, everything. They find that the people engage with the raw video even more, right? So if you feel like you need to have, the right background or whatever, I mean, my background's not great, but what people want nowadays is they don't want perfection. Perfection is boring.
I think that speaks a lot to what's going on in the culture. And I think as part of like business entrepreneurs, and I was just telling you that earlier, it's like we get lost. It's easy to get lost in this whole marketing. And, spiritual entrepreneurs have all started this because they want to be real and they want to be authentic. And when you start to put the whole, oh, I have to be this way, I have to do my hair, or I have to put on makeup, and I don't have makeup now. I'm not a makeup person, right? But you get lost, and they have to speak a certain way, right? Then you get lost, and you kind of you get further away from that authentic, which actually ends up pushing your clients away because they feel it, because you're like, I don't like me, right? Why would my clients like me?
Yeah, they can sense it energetically, right? So so real, just present your own real, raw, authentic self. And that really is the power of video marketing. I mean, for some of you, this could be the first time you see me, or even, for first time you see Natalie, maybe if you're coming through my link. But the fact that you're seeing us moving and talking, that the whole thing about business is people only do business with people that they know, like, and trust, right? So it's hard to know, like, and trust someone through a blog post or through an ad, a text ad, right? But when people see video, all of a sudden that really quantum leaps their ability to know, like, and trust you. And that's part of the reason why video marketing is so important. You could, if you put it up, I'm going to be going all over the place probably, but so that's part of the reason. I'm just going to
just make us note, if you guys have questions, whether in the Facebook thread or in the participants, you just put it in the chat box and I'll go over them and we'll answer them at the end. Is that okay?
Awesome.
Okay.
And really, when Natalie and I we were talking about doing this live stream, she's like, okay, what should we title it? I said video cash machine, because at this point, I know that anytime I want to make money, anytime I need to attract my perfect clients, or for you to attract any perfect clients, customers, or patients, video, the moment you put yourself out there in video, your ability to make money just goes up. Okay?
Can anybody just do that? I'm sorry, I'm interrupting, but can anybody just put up a video? Does the topic matter? Like, how do you, because lots of people do videos, but lots of people don't make money, just as many people put a Facebook post, never get clients. So what's the catch?
So there's a recipe for that, to be honest, video marketing, right? And that's actually part of the reason why I've transitioned from a purely feng shui service to now I have business coaching clients where I teach them feng shui, like I feng shui their home and their office and their store. And at the same time, I'm also teaching them with regards to the video marketing portion, because just like you're saying, Natalie, just putting a video up on YouTube, because I don't remember what the statistic is now. Every minute, I think there's like 600 hours of video being uploaded on YouTube. Something crazy like that.
You know, they think that it's all going to be video pretty soon. Yeah. I think text is going to be more prevalent than they think, but video is becoming more and more every day.
Yeah, because video just spans all the generations. Like every generation does video right now. Even the baby boomers, I think 48% are on YouTube every day.
Really?
Yes.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
Okay,
and that was statistics of the 2015 statistic. Now in 2017, that would have gone up.
Yeah, and that's like my parents' age, right? Like 50 and above.
Baby boomers, yeah, exactly.
Maybe that's because they all have time to watch cat videos.
I don't know, but
that's awesome though. 48%. That means they're tech savvy.
Yeah, they are. I mean, they're on Snapchat and stuff even. Like, seriously, I'm not on Snapchat. So, what was it that I wanted to say now? But yeah, so for those of you who are watching right now, especially the ones who have a video, have a business, it doesn't matter if you're a brick and mortar or if you have an online business. Every business now needs video marketing, okay? Like for instance, I'm actually helping helping a couple of my friends rank their video on YouTube. And actually a few months ago, I did a wedding band London wedding band. I forgot which keyword it was that I was doing. And I was like, hey, let me help you rank that. And so once you know the recipe of how to optimize a video and how to rank a video, you can actually get it to page 1 within a few days. And for that London wedding band, if you guys go on YouTube, like London, it's like how many hits, like 1 million+ hits comes back in YouTube for wedding band in London. I forgot which keyword it was. And within 2 days, we got it up to page 1 of YouTube.
Amazing.
Yeah. And that's because I have spent, like Natalie's saying, just putting up a video is not enough, especially in YouTube, right? There are a few things that happens behind the scenes that needs to, things that you need to do before you upload it to YouTube, things that you do when you're uploading, and what you do after you upload, the pre, during, and the post upload. And those are the things that when I have clients right now who are working on a deeper level with me in terms of adding that video marketing into their marketing mix, I teach them how to do that, right? But the main thing is just get started. I don't want you to get overwhelmed with the pre, during, and the post stuff right now, especially if you haven't even done your first video. Your next step, your homework, I'm giving a homework already, is just get started, just to get comfortable with live stream. You can start doing it on Facebook, just having your friends and family watch it. Or for some people, they're actually uncomfortable having their friends and family watch it. You can do it in a Facebook group where none of your friends and family are there, that you don't get any other judgment or any other comments. Whatever makes you feel support it, and like you're not going to chicken out doing your first. There are Facebook groups out there that encourage people to put up to break their live stream virginity, right? So
There's
it's
such a thing.
Well, I should coin that. Just find a safe space for you to do your very first live stream, because that's the one that we fear the most. Once you go over that hump, you're going to realize, you know what, actually it's not that hard. It's not a big deal. Okay. So once you do, like I said, it doesn't matter if you're online or offline. Video is going to be the main content. I could be in a corner store somewhere, and like, let's say, this is a great example. So I was just down the street. I dropped my daughter off at daycare, and I had time to myself. I'm like, okay, what am I going to do now? I have like 3 hours to myself. And I decided to go to a nail salon. I'm on my phone. I'm Googling nail salon near me. And Google is so smart. They know where you are, right? And then a video of the nail salon pops up. And also other nail salon websites pop up. Now, guess which one I click on first? The video thumbnail. Right? And studies have also shown, and this is how, by the way, this is how you really cut through the competition. And it doesn't matter what industry you are right now. Look at your competition and see who's actually doing video right now. You're going to see that not a lot of your competition is actually doing it, or they're not doing it right. Okay? So this is your golden chance of really learning how to do video marketing the right way. And the right way for the beginning is just to start. If you don't start, you can't even, you can't even mine that gold if you don't even start with your first video.
Do you plan what you're going to say?
Yes and no. Like I go up, off the cuff pretty much. I have a good idea of what to say, but most of the time it's just, I just let the information flow.
Okay.
And that's actually another reason why people will see you as the go-to solution, or will see you as the go-to expert, because it's not scripted. It's not something that you need to memorize, because your knowledge of your product or your service or your industry is within you. And when you just let it go unedited, people are going to know, oh, this, like Natalie really knows what she's talking about when it comes to law of attraction, right? Because she's not looking at notes. She's not like whatever. It's just something that she has just like embodied now in her business, right? So that's another way of making you the go-to expert in your industry.
Makes you real.
It makes you real.
It gives you credibility from that point, eh?
Yeah. People know that you don't have to like really need to prep in order to know what to say.
It's kind of like also when, how people get really nervous in front of crowds, like they'll take their notes and then they'll like read all their notes. And that's because they're actually focused on themselves. And when you're on video and you stop the notes and you just let it flow, I find it actually really easy and more easy to talk to you than to write an email.
Yes.
Because I can't see you. It sounds crazy. Yeah. All right. So what do you do then? Like, so you start your video, but what do you do then? And you have a recipe, you learn the recipe.
Yeah. So actually, even before you start, you need to do your market research. So, going back to Natalie's question is, do you prepare your content, or do you just talk about anything? When you're first starting out, especially when you're doing YouTube, okay? And actually, let me backtrack, because almost all social media allows you to do live streaming right now, but the two main ones that I use is Facebook and YouTube. And ideally, I would suggest that you start with both, but the more important one actually is YouTube. And I'm going to tell you why. Okay? YouTube is owned by Google, right? So if you want to be found, especially in the Google sphere, the Google world, they love it when your video is on YouTube. That's number one. Okay? Just like if you want to be a master at something, do you go to a school? Do you go to a school that's like has been well known? That's like has been well known for forever and ever in being good at in that field of study, or do you go to a brand new school, right? So So Google will favor YouTube videos, obviously, over Facebook videos. So that's number one. Second, Google is the second largest search engine YouTube is the second largest search engine after Google.
That I didn't know.
That you didn't know. People, when people are like, how to bake a cake, how to whatever.
Music, everything. That's where I go.
Yeah.
How to fix the toilet.
Yeah. So the search engine in Facebook is not that great. Right?
No, there's no, yeah, I've never used I never even think of it.
Who uses
by accident. If I use it, it's because, I put in manifesting and it's like,
yeah, exactly.
So, it comes back with results.
Yeah, and there's a link to that in terms of how you build your content. Okay, so just put a hold on that second piece in that it's the second largest search engine after Google. So that's huge. And the third is the YouTube content is more permanent, right? It is forever there. It doesn't get lost as much as in Facebook.
Okay. It gets lost on Facebook. That's so true. It's one of the biggest challenges of Facebook is like everything that you do, post, everything else. It's like you do it one day and then it's like gone.
Yeah, it gets pushed down, right? So. So going back to the fact that it's the second largest search engine, and again, you want your business to be found, right? When people are searching how to fix a back pain through chiropractic care, like if you're a chiropractic clinic, I'm actually trying to get my chiropractor to do a video so that I can rank it for her. In that, I just worked out.
That's okay. It happens.
Yeah. So in terms of content, when you're first starting, try to do content that people are searching for, okay? For instance, law of attraction, right? Go for, this may be the boring topics, but these are the ones that people search for. Would be how to manifest money now.
The first thing I Googled, and that's how I found my first online, I didn't hire her, but I started to follow her. I found Jenny Sheep. And I Googled, how can you manifest clients without struggling so much or something? And it was the exact same sentence that she had on her site.
Yeah, there you go. So you may have other topics about law of attraction or manifesting that you want to cover on, but I would say your first 10 videos need to be the boring, most searched, most asked question about your industry.
Do you guys know what that question is? If you guys had to identify it right now, put it in the chat box. I'm really curious. If you're on Facebook, put it below. We can see what that first question would be.
I'm going to give you a couple of tips on how to do that, okay? One, if you already have a current business, you ask your clients what their biggest challenge are. And actually, Natalie and I were going to do an interview afterwards in terms of asking your perfect market, what are your biggest challenge around, let's say, eating healthy if you're a nutritionist, or what's your biggest challenge around manifesting for Natalie, or for me, what's your biggest challenge around feng shui, right? Mm-hmm. The answers that come up over and over and over again, those are the videos that you need to do a content on.
Yeah, right. It's funny because when I first started the first time I hired a coach, she had me do that exercise and she had me doing cold calls. I was so uncomfortable and it was not the right business for me. And eventually I'm like, no, I'm going to set up appointments with people I know. But doing those interviews, the person gets so much out of it. And, yesterday I always finish with one question, which is, what gem did you get out of the last 30 minutes? And, even though it's supposed to be 15, it always goes over. And people...
Natalie over-delivers, you guys.
Always.
Haven't had a session with her yet.
So when you get to the end of it, what'd she say? She said, it's just a reaffirmation that I'm on the right path. And, that's huge. Yes. It's huge that somebody can say, hey, I'm on the right path. And my intention was just to interview her, and she got what she needed. Some people get clarity about their next step. And I'm like, sometimes they get a little hint from me as to what that next step should be.
Yes.
And I'm okay with that. It's amazing.
The power of interviews is so amazing. So interview your past clients or past patients, your past, yeah. So
Yeah, and
definitely,
write down their words.
yeah, word for word, write it
Word
down.
for word. I got slapped from my first coach. She's like, you're paraphrasing.
Yes.
Because that's what we're taught to do, right? Like, you don't write word for word. No, if you have to, record it, tell the person, but you want to, and have it transcribed, because the words are the ones that you're going to use in your copy. And the more you get connected with their words and their language, the easier it's going to be. Now, if you're, I'm sorry, I'm adding stuff. If you're interviewing coaches, it can be a little challenging, healers too, because they tend to speak from a place of I'm a coach, or so they're coaching words, and you won't get necessarily the right language. And so that's why it's so important to talk to them, because you're going to find the nuances, and you can go a little bit deeper into that. When you're just like doing it quickly, people are sometimes really like, oh, not connected to the process. But when you can really hear it and really go deeper, you're going to get to what they really want.
Yes, exactly. That's and once you do that, and you take their word for word, or you take their biggest challenges, and you put that either on your blog post, but since we're talking about video, you say that on video, you're gonna think, oh my God, she knows me. She understands my pain. Like, she took the word literally out of my mouth about my biggest challenge of, building a business or marketing or whatever, right? Or even losing weight or attracting the right relationship. She took the words right out of my mouth, right?
One of the biggest questions I get is, as a coach, for the people that I coach, which are entrepreneurs, the single biggest question is, how do I get my message across so that they buy now? The answer is that you use their words, and you make sure that they know you understand the pain. And I know that it's not a natural thing, but really what it is, hi, Safrina, how are you? And, I hear you, I see you, I feel you. And you guys, everybody's heart-centered. So connect with their hearts, and then you go from there.
Yeah, exactly. So even if it's like on video, right, energetically, especially those of you who are spiritually open, on video, you can still energetically connect to your audience, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And they're going to sense that you're connecting with them. You're not just talking, that you're actually hearing them, and you're actually like guiding them after you've done this. I know market research makes it sound so, so clinical, but once you know your ideal clients, customers, and patients inside out, and you build your video content that way, then they're not just going to see you as the expert, which is really important, but they're going to see you as someone they can trust with their problems, their challenges, their fears, their worries.
It's so true, right? I made the mistake of saying I didn't have to redo it because I did it once, like 6 months or a year ago or 2 years ago. This is something you should plan to do 3 or 4 times a year, because the community changes, you evolve, you get out of, like, you change alignment. I'm going to throw you a question that Shana asked.
Okay.
Shana says, what if you don't like videos?
Then you don't have to be, what are you talking about? The format of video, or you don't like being on video?
I think she doesn't like being on video. And Shana, can you clarify in the Facebook feed? Okay, but I think she's like, I don't like the idea of making video, and I think it's about being on the video.
Okay, so my question is, one, have you tried it? Right? If you tried it and you feel like it's not authentic, because earlier in this live stream we were talking about being authentic. If you feel like being in front of the video makes you not authentic to yourself, then honor that. Right? I know I'm spouting video all the time, but there's a way to go around it. You personally don't have to be in front of the camera if you want to. You can be a little bit creative about this, right? Maybe it could be, again, it's hard to go live. I guess you can't do live stream per se this way, but you can record a video and upload it on your Facebook account, or you can upload it to YouTube. But it could be maybe you doing a screenshot of your slide, right? You're recording your slides and then you're narrating through it. That's still another way. The downside of it, or webinar is another form of video, right? It's just most of the time you're talking, but they don't see you, they see your slides. The downside of that is, again, depending on your business, especially for us, Natalie, you are your own brand. Your image is your brand. If people don't see your face, then you're going to lose out on that potential of marketing. You get this, right, Natalie?
Because what ends up happening is that people have to get to know you. Yeah. And, you know, sometimes if some people do it really, really well with copy, right? They're connecting, but it's like you're reading their soul, you're reading their spirit, and you get to know them through the copy. And for a lot of us, it's not our natural instincts, and copy is so different than what we learned in school. It's a whole different ballgame. Video is just you showing up and saying, hey, go do it. You know, I know that what Shauna is saying, you know, it's a little bit afraid, like it's fear also that's coming up. You asked a question, and I just want to go back to it, was when is the last time you did a video? Because if you've never tried it, you have to try it before you know if you're in alignment with it. Yeah. Because it's going to be nerve-wracking the first few times. I forced one of my clients to do it recently, and like it was crazy. Like she looks like a goddess, and now she's doing videos 4 times a week in her Facebook group. And I'm like, people are connecting, they're booking discovery calls, and I'm like, you know, okay, we had a funnel plan, but I'm like, that is way better.
Yeah, it's almost like a child, right? Like my daughter, I'm trying, what was it recently? I gave her dumplings. I made her Chinese dumplings, and she's like, I don't like it. I'm like, how do you know? You haven't even tasted it. Same thing. I'm not trying to treat you as a child, Shauna. It's just that unless, and again, I don't see your answers, but if you haven't tried the video, give it a chance.
Yeah, I just looked. I don't actually see an answer from Shauna, but we can tag her after and just let her know.
I would say don't just try it one time and write it off, because the first time for most of us it bombed.
Yeah, I say try it 3 times. It's like sex, right? Yeah.
And if
it doesn't work after 3 times, it's over.
At least you can say you gave it a fair shot.
Yeah.
Right? And especially if you're in business, you can't, I mean, so many people, so many marketing gurus cannot be wrong about the future of video marketing for your business. They cannot be wrong.
No.
You know,
they can't be wrong. And at the end of the day, you know, I think we go in with the intention of we have to be perfect. And we don't have to be. It doesn't matter that 10,000 other people or 1 million other people are doing YouTube videos and they're super cool. You are where you are in your journey, and that is divine.
Yeah.
Right? And whether you choose to write or you choose to do a Facebook Live, you write from that, you do that from that place, your clients will come, right? As long as you make sure that you've done their market research and you understand what they want.
Yeah. Talking about market research, another tip for you guys here is to hang out where they hang out. Now, Facebook is a beautiful place for this. You hang out in Facebook groups. You don't really have to, not to say like you just lurk, but you be really mindful in terms of your perfect clients and customers' patients, especially when they're talking about their pain. There's actually many times where someone else would say, hey guys, what are your biggest struggles around marketing or attracting a constant flow of clients? I don't necessarily,
comment,
but I actually save that link because that is marketing gold. Because like 50, 100, like a couple of hundred people, if it's a question that really hits home for a lot of people, they will comment. And that is, and I go through comment by comment, and I flesh out the words or the phrases that come up over and over again. And that, again, you use that, you know.
The other day I lurked in a group that I knew is filled with my potential clients. Yeah. And I went through and I searched mindset. I searched their the words question. There's a lot of crap too, right? But I got to the point where I was like, hey, I have 5 questions. And I'm like, this is what people really want to know.
Yes.
And this wasn't me like reaching out to someone. This was just me looking at public information, going, what can I do? And there's like large groups. If you've ever taken a group program, go in and check out what people are asking in those group programs, because the same questions will come back. And by the way, like, even if you're not a coach or a healer, if you're a chiropractor, or if you have a brick and mortar, the same principles apply. Find groups with your clients and even your peers, because the same questions will come.
Yeah, I actually just recently had a business coaching call with someone, with a client of mine, and I was giving her tips in terms of, you know, different ways of doing market research. So she has a cleaning company.
Mm-hmm.
And I told her that try to find groups of people who, actually that was her homework. So try to find groups of people who have their places up on Airbnb. Okay. And what are their biggest headaches around cleaning that place after their guests leave their Airbnb spot? Right? So that's her market research. And when she does her Facebook social posts, social media posts, or when she does her advertising, like let's say advertising would be, hey, you know, are you an Airbnb host and you hate the post cleanup, you know, because of whatever, right? Let me help.
Absolutely.
So those are the things that are going to grab your ideal clients, customers, and patients, because you're word for word, you're telling them that you know what their headache is all about.
Yeah.
The main headache.
That's so powerful, eh?
Yeah, it's very, very powerful. And even, I mean, on a tangent, like you were saying, on a sales or a discovery call or a sales call. I mean, I used to do IT sales before I did this full time. I walked away from a 6-figure job because it just, you know, the soul wasn't into it, right? But I'm talking to like IT directors and VPs of CIOs, chief information officers, right? So these guys, most of the time in the first few calls, I just listen and I write down what their main questions are. And then you come back and say, so if we have a solution to help you deal with your headache number 1, can we book a meeting next week? Right?
And it's so huge, right? Yeah. To just sit and listen, and the other person feels heard. And I find it easier to do it in interviews. And in discovery calls, I have to sit on the mute button.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to interrupt. And sometimes, like, you have to let go of the silence, right? Yeah. And let the silence
go with it.
Because the silence, you know, and I do it in sessions, because in sessions I'm like, I don't speak until I'm guided to speak. But when you are speaking in sessions and you give that pause, people will go, ah, and they'll start talking. And that's when the real stuff comes out.
Yes. Yeah. And the beauty of this is, again, once you know what their heartache and headache is all about, and you do your content based on that, right? It makes it so much easier for them to first trust you, and then they want to start doing business with you. And that's what I mean by video cash machine. It's not like, I'm not putting it in a facetious way that, oh, you do a video and boom, you make money. There's a bit of a journey there. You make a video in order to be trusted as the go-to expert, in order to build that relationship, in order for people to like you as more than just a person on video. They feel like they're really starting to know, you know, your, like you said, know your soul, or know what space are you serving and supporting your clients from, right? Once they have a better sense of that, then they'll email you, then they will call you. Because every time I get calls and I get emails, my first question is, how did you find me? There's 3 questions.
Oh, you asked, okay.
I always ask, always. Business intelligence. I always ask, how did you find me? It's usually Facebook, YouTube, and Google.
Okay.
And another thing about YouTube, why, again, I'm not saying don't do Facebook Live, but YouTube is the one that you need to be more cognizant of, is that once your YouTube video is getting enough traction, so let's say you have a 5-minute video on how to eat clean, right? How to survive the holidays while still eating clean, or something like that, right? If that,
10 pounds.
Yeah. If that video gets a lot of searches and people click on it, and they actually, let's say if it's a 5-minute video and people say, let's say 3 minutes or more, that's a signal for YouTube that this is a good video with content that people want. Because Yeah, because Google and YouTube want to make sure that their users have good user experience, right?
That means good content.
Yeah, so the longer they stay on your video, that's a signal that, okay, let's push this video a little bit higher in the ranking. Okay, and once it gets high enough, now the parent, because YouTube is the kid, right? Once the kid says, hey, this video is great, you know, people are really loving this video, they're interacting, they're sharing it, they're commenting on this YouTube video, they tell their parents, their mommy and daddy Google, and Google will then start pushing it onto Google. So when someone is searching on Google now, your video comes up. If you guys want to try this, how to feng shui your kitchen, if you go on Google, you would see this either page 1 or page 2, depending on where in the world you are. It's really weird how it's set up. Like it's not like universal, but if you guys go on how to feng shui kitchen, you will see my video, which is like a grayish kitchen, like a thumbnail image. That is it's going to be either page 1 or page 2 for you, right?
I found it really interesting that you started with like your trade, which was feng shui, and then you ended up in like bringing back your sales background and then choosing to explore that with spiritual entrepreneurs. It's like it's all coming back into like an alignment.
It is all coming back, which is why I'm so passionate about it. People are like, you know, and my husband being one, he's like, why don't you just concentrate on feng shui? And I'm like, it's not that I'm letting go of feng shui. It's just that for my business clients, I can give them, I can support them much better if their marketing strategy is solid. You can feng shui up the yin yang, pun intended.
So same with healers, and if there's healers from my tribe here or coaches, you can heal you can give psychic messages, but at the end of the day, there's also a fundamental ground that needs to be set up.
Yeah.
And I love that you're doing it. I think it's amazing, and I love the work that you're doing. We just have 10 minutes left, just so you know.
Oh, okay. And especially me in my trade, like I'm in touch with a lot of spiritual entrepreneurs. It hurts me when they're struggling with marketing. It really hurts. So I just ended up giving them little tips here and there, but I realized it's like tips here and there is not going to serve them. What's going to serve them is that if I actually give them that recipe of what you need to do before you upload, during upload, and after upload, which is why I started my group coaching program called Stand Out and Prosper. And I'm keeping it like a really small group right now, because I do give a lot of focus to each and every one of my clients' businesses. You know, I push them to do their video. I have a real estate agent client right now who's going to have one done, and we're going to rank it for, you know, real estate agent for his city and things like that. So that way, you know, I combine what I call metaphysics and then mindset and then solid marketing. And that's when people can really double and triple or even more their income. And that's exactly what happened to me. I will say that Facebook and YouTube is what really helped me build my reputation and help me now generate consistent 5-figure income. And it's not a struggle, because people would actually, up to a point, last month I actually had to stop consultation because I'm pretty booked up. I told my clients, like, you know, unless you want to wait a couple of months, I can't take you on right now.
That is a good problem to have. I just want to point something out. When you started and you were struggling, did you think, oh, this is hard?
What was hard? The video?
When you were trying to get to 5-figure months, did you think, oh, it was hard, like it's impossible? And then all of a sudden it happened and now it's like easy?
For me, it was like, what is the missing link? I see other people making the 5 figures. Why am I not? I'm just as good, if not better than them. And that was a little bit frustrating. But then when the video kicked in, because the magic of that is people started to see me as a feng shui expert. I didn't have to beg for clients anymore. There's one phone call that will forever stick in my mind, because I was so desperate for a client that I was going to charge $188 for a full consult. This was years ago. And he could hear the desperation in my voice.
That's like a repulsion.
Yeah. And that's because, again, that was around the time when no one found me, right? A miraculous phone call came through and I'm like, I need to book this client. So visibility is the key, and video really is, you know, I'm not great on social media. I'm not very consistent with posting on Facebook or Instagram or anything, but video is where I tell myself I need to show up as consistently as I can, right? Again, I'm not perfect. I have, like, you know, 2 kids and a family to take care of, and my daughter always wants to be in front of the camera with me. But you do what you need to do. And people, again, keeping it real, right? When I pick up my daughter and we're both doing the live stream, people feel like they know me as a sister now.
Absolutely.
Right?
I love that.
Yeah.
So if people wanted to know more about Stand Out and Prosper, what would they have to do?
It's not for everyone. I'll tell you that. I can be a pretty, I'm a kick-ass business coach, just as I am a kick-ass feng shui consultant, but I do not let my clients go away on their excuses. So I'm like Dr. Phil, I'll be on your behind if you don't do the homework. Again, we do believe that there is an authentic way of doing it. I'm not saying that my way is the way to do it, but if you feel like you have your own way to do it, I'm the accountability buddy here to make sure that you do. So I'd like to honor those who are, you know, taking action by watching us live here right now. I have a bit of an opportunity for you guys. So I want to offer a free business breakthrough session. And I usually sell this for $488 US, by the way. I'm not, you know, I'm not joking. I charge $500 an hour for this. At the end of the call, you will come away with your next best move. It can be video marketing, it can be your social media, or it can be other, like maybe parts of your funnel that we can talk about. But you will walk away with your one next best move that you can implement right away. Okay? But you need to qualify, because like I said, I have 2 kids, I have a family, I have 3 businesses that I'm running. So what do you do to qualify? You need to have a 6-figure income goal. So I want someone who is ambitious, who is done playing small in their business. Okay? So you need to have a 6-figure income goal. If you're not sure how to get there, that's fine. We can, you know, we can work it through as best as we can on our call. But I want the ones who are action takers and decision makers. You need to decide to take action, and you need to decide to take action now. Those are the successful ones, okay? And you are also ready to make the commitment in time and finances and effort. If not, then you can do the business breakthrough call with me, but at the end of the call, if you're not gonna tell yourself that you're gonna commit, it's just gonna be a waste of your time and a waste of my time. Okay, so if you guys want to get on my business breakthrough session with me, you go to fengshuiandprosper.com. Okay. Actually, I should have typed this out.
You can type it up in the chat box and I'll copy it. Do you see the chat box?
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's fengshuiandprosper.com/info session.
I just saw Joe's comment. Thank you so much. She loves this live.
Yeah. Thanks for watching us live, Joe. We're due for a business session, Joe. It's been so long. Yeah. So that is my offer with you guys. Like, seriously, if you feel like you're just drowning in all the marketing that you shoulda, coulda, woulda done in your business, let's just stop all that overwhelm. On this breakthrough session, we're gonna focus on one thing that you can do. So that, because overwhelm is not gonna help you, or it's not gonna help your business, right? So we're gonna gain clarity, and you focus on one thing. Like the ones that I've done before, I tell them, okay, focus on your social media content for your Facebook. Focus on doing market research for your content. And yeah, so that's basically if you want to know. And if you are a fit, if I feel like you are a fit, and if you feel like you want to work on a deeper level with me, then we can talk about the group program. But I am a little bit picky in terms of who I let in. Yeah. Oh, and also I want to make sure that I can help you. If you are in a sort of industry where I feel like I don't have a lot of knowledge or experience in, then I won't take a cent of your money. Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. So, I know that some people were listening in the Facebook group. Sarah was like, also saying hello, and they're like really, it's going well. So thank you. Hi, Sarah. And Tracy says she really likes this Facebook Live and the effort that we're putting into it.
Oh, I'm so glad.
Is there anything else that you want to share before we go?
No. Well, I guess that's it. That will be enough right now. The info
Yeah.
session would
If
be
you
enough.
guys have questions, you guys can always find the Facebook group and put it under, and we'll go through and I'll tag you to let you
Yeah.
know that there's a question or two.
Yeah, because I'm in Natalie's group, by the way. So if you guys have any video marketing questions, feel free to hit me up in that group.
Yeah, and if anybody doesn't know what the group is, it's Entrepreneurs Being Masters of Manifesting. All right, so just go ahead and sign up, and you'll be able to access it. If you signed up through the link, you're going to get a replay in about 24 hours. I'm in the process of setting that up, and that's that. And don't forget, ladies, go check out the info session. You know, I know it's easy to take that moment and go, oh, do I really want to do it, or it's going to take time? But, you know, check in with your heart, and, you know, this is an opportunity to really have a connection and decide that maybe this is right for you or not. So go have that session. The link is up there, and that's it for today.
Awesome. Thanks so much for giving me the time, Natalie.
Thank you. I forgot to say thank you to my guests.
I know you already thanked me. That's okay.
I'm really, really thankful and grateful. Like, this is a week that is filled with miracles. And like, as I go through this today, I'm one of the things that I'm finding is I really love this back and forth. I don't know, maybe it drives you nuts, but I find it makes it so much more real as we go through the process. And I love the fact that I can just stop and ask you the questions, because I believe that the reason I'm asking those questions is because someone in the group is wanting them.
Yes.
So important. You know, I went to Abraham Hicks, which is a spiritual thing, right?
Yeah,
and all you have to do to have your question answers is think the question and go, I would like an answer to this. And they'll channel the answer.
Yeah.
And so we're all connected. It's all going through the ethers. And as entrepreneurs, we're all in the same boat, right? We all have the same questions. And so, and all we can do is really answer them. And the answers are not that hard. Sometimes it's just the fear of asking the question and the fear of, oh, maybe I'm going to have to invest. Maybe, you know, and really we worry about all that, but really the next step is just the next step. So it is the info session in this case. So thank you so much for being on. And that's it for today. I'm going to end the live stream. Thank you.
Thanks, everyone. Bye, Natalie.
And just stay on for a second. I'm going to just stop the recording. Yeah, let me turn it off. I don't know how you turn it off.